Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hairy Tarantula. I'm Richard and this is Bryan, and today we're going to talk to you about what exactly is it, Bryan?
It's called Numenera and it's awesome. So, it is an RPG, if you couldn't tell by the books out in front of you. It's set in the Ninth World. The Ninth World is kind of this super futuristic Earth, set 9 worlds away from our own. So, there have been 8 previous worlds, and each world kind of before that was super developed in like technology. They rewrote reality. They created completely different cultures, traveled to distant planets, harnessed the powers of suns and stars.
So not us.
Not us. No, we are dreadfully behind. We're like the negative first world if we're comparing
So
it
like
properly.
10 worlds behind
We're like
that.
10 worlds behind. We're so behind.
Wow.
And the people living in the Ninth World are kind of trying to pick up the pieces of all those previous worlds and discover, what came before them, how to make sense of this crazy planet where there's all these weird technologies and alien beings and aberrations. And it's really
What kind
cool.
of aberrations?
So Numenera is kind of interesting in that it's a blend of sci-fi and fantasy because while everything is super technological, super futuristic, and everything is radically different, it retains a foreign yet familiar feel because it's still set on Earth, and so it retains the kind of remnants or the fragments of the previous world. So you might get like machine intelligences rather than AI, or you picked up like a pulse bolt repulsor rather than you picked up a rifle. So you have to understand that everything in Numenera, although flavorfully it's very different, it's very kind of alternative from the weapons you might see in a regular fantasy game or technology game, the flavor of it and the kind of taste of the whole game is meant to like reference things that we already know. Oh, actually, that makes sense.
That does make sense, and that is a fantastic explanation to describe Numenera. The brief description that I've read about it is that it becomes a point where magic and technology are completely, you can't tell them apart anymore because that's how advanced society has become, both through sciences and magic.
Yeah, exactly. Like technology in the Ninth World becomes so infused with kind of the fabric of the world that people just use technology on an everyday basis. But there'll be weird things like you might have a pill that when you take it, it teleports you to another location, or you might have some eyeglasses which like make you feel really wet, or you might have a glove that when you use it on yourself, you like are charged with electricity. So it's all these weird things which people sort of understand, but sort of also just accept it as they're never going to fully get it, but they're still trying. And that's a big theme of Numenera, which is discovery, like discovering the past and discovering what lies ahead for these kind of people in this world.
All right, Bryan. So, what is the rule system that Numenera uses?
So Numenera operates on the cipher system,
Okay.
which resolves conflicts and resolves problems through a kind of difficulty tier system. So let's say something is level 3 difficulty.
All right.
And that means that you would multiply that number by 3, getting 9. It means that you need to roll a d20 and get 9 or higher to resolve it.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. In Numenera, when resolving a task, you check to see if you have any assets, which might help you decrease the difficulty of the task by a step, so a 3 to a 2, so you only need a 6. If you have any skills or abilities, which would help you make the task easier as well. Also, if you want to put any effort, which is kind of like you pushing yourself to your limit to make sure you really get that thing. So let's say, for example, I am climbing a large metallic tree with like glass fruit on top, and I really want that glass fruit. It looks so tantalizing. And the difficulty is a 4. So if I had perhaps some climbing tools, let's say like I had some gravity-propelled boots that help me cling to the tree, that would reduce difficulty by a step, making it 3. If I had skill in climbing, that would reduce a step to a 2. So I'd only need now 2 times 3, 6. Mm-hmm. And say I just really want to make sure I get that fruit and nothing's going to stop me, I'm going to use some effort. When you apply effort, you have 3 pools. You have your might pool, you have your speed pool, and you have your intellect pool. And you'd basically pay 3 points from the relevant pool to help you decrease that task by another step. So now I've decreased the task by 3 steps. It's only a 1 difficulty, so I only need to roll a 3 or higher. I'm probably going to get that fruit.
What happens when you fail?
when you fail.
Yeah, like let's say you've lowered it down all the way to 1, but you roll 1. Something bad has to happen, right?
Something bad does have to happen. Oh, it doesn't have to, but in Numenera, there's kind of a little system where if you roll, I'll just take the opposite example. If you roll an 18, 19, or a 20, you can get a major or minor intrusion from the GM, which can get you like better benefits. So like it makes a task easier, or oh, you found another fruit, or some other benefit happens. If you roll a 1 or a 2, that might mean that the GM intrudes and instead gives you a weird penalty. Like maybe the fruit that you found was actually explosive, and you're like, oh no, now I really don't want that fruit. Or maybe maybe you succeeded, but you damaged your boots in the trip up, and now you can't have the boots. So one of the important things in Numenera, and any RPG too, is failing forward, right? That even though you might get what you want, you might not get it the way that you want, and things might not always work out.
Okay, that makes perfect sense, and that does definitely work in a lot of RPG systems. With I think probably the biggest exception being D&D. So how do I start playing the game?
I start playing the game. Well, so getting into character creation, the cool thing about Numenera is that the way to build your character is very open-ended and allows you to choose lots of different paths. Rather than choosing just your race and your class, rather you have adjective noun that verbs. You have a character type, a character descriptor, and a character focus. Okay. So your character type, so in the second edition, you have arcuses, or arcus, which is kind of the governors, the politicians, the leaders of a society. You have rights, like W-R-G-H-T, R-I-G-H-T, the builders, the makers in society, and the delves, people who scour temples, look for hidden treasures, and are seeking always new mysteries and new things to uncover about the world. So that would give you your class type. Then from character descriptor, this is kind of an adjective which you describe your character with. You could be like vicious, or you could be bloodthirsty, you could be gentle, you could be persuasive, you could be charming, or you could be stupid. There are negative descriptors as well.
The stupid politician who enjoyed too much glass fruit.
Yeah, it could be that. And then that brings us to the focus, which is kind of your character's theme or the flavor of your abilities. So you might have rides the lightning, so you have like lightning themed powers, or you might have fuses flesh and steel, so you're a cyborg, or you might have murders, just murders, so you're just a straight killer. And so, for example, if I were to think of a character, I might be, let's say, a brave delve who rides the lightning, and that would be my character for the game.
Okay. So there's a lot of flexibility with how you develop your character based on your descriptors. Sounds actually really fun. Like the ability to be a tight-knit descriptor allows a lot of open-end development, especially for narrative reasons or even character development reasons. So I can definitely see that as a positive aspect of the game. Why do you like this game?
So I like Numenera. One of the first things that drew me to it was the elegance and the simplicity of the cipher system, how it works in making the DM not have to think too much about making encounters, running adventures, because even when it comes to the enemies, enemies are purely measured by their target number. So if an enemy is a difficulty 3, it means that you have to hit them, it needs a 9, their health is a 9, they have, and all their stats are basically measured in that way. So you don't have to look for a million tables or all their different attacks and everything. You just say, everything's a 3. That's the biggest thing, ease for the GM. Second one, the setting. I'm in love with the setting of Numenera, how it's this kind of blended sci-fi fantasy with technology, but it's like magic, and it's our world, but it's not quite our world, and everything is just so far in the future that you can just kind of take things we have in our current day and kind of give your own little spin on them. And then, the third one is that super open-ended character creation that encourages players to experiment with new builds, try out different options, and really find themselves in their character and make the character that they want to make and play the way they want to play.
As someone who runs a lot of games here at the store and also at home, a system in which it is very simple to run and I don't have to be searching through tables, all this stuff is a big benefit, I know, for myself, because once you've run so many different systems, sometimes you get confused.
Yeah.
You'd be like, wait, no, that's the other game that had that, not this one. So that's great that it's really simplified, and the NPC mechanics are just, it's a simple math equation. I want to throw an NPC that's a target number 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. They need 12s or better to hit it. It has 12 hit points. It deals, I'm guessing doesn't deal 12
It deals
damage.
4 damage.
It deals 4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, it doesn't deal 12, does it? No. But yeah, that's really easy. And that's a huge selling point for me. I don't know how the selling point is for a player. As a DM, you sold me on that right there. Bryan, now you and I have had a conversation over the last couple weeks in that you're going to start running Numenera here at the store.
Yes.
Can you please tell everyone, viewer at home, when they can come by and join in the fun? Because you know what, I think I'm going to join.
All right. So I am planning to run Numenera. Character creation will start on February 26th. I believe it's a Tuesday.
Okay.
And after that, it'll be starting on every Tuesday moving forward from that. So March 5th and so on. Table fee will just be $5 per player.
Wow, $5 per player. That's great.
Yeah, like I've DM'd Numenera before, and it's a system which I'm comfortable running. But it's my first time kind of running a game here at the store, and I want to just kind of make sure that I get my kind of chops, my DM chops up to snuff.
That is February 26th is character creation?
Correct.
All right, cool. Definitely looking forward to that. Thank you, Bryan, for coming down and telling us about Numenera. Thank you for watching. You can find us online at harryt.com or come visit us in the store at 3456 Yonge Street here in Toronto. And until next time, I'm Richard.
I'm Bryan.
See you next time.